You know, people keep asking me what is my race schedule like for the rest of the year. And you know what? I'm looking through this calendar, and if you guys see what I see, it is completely blank. So I know what I'm going to be telling you guys for my next video, because there is nothing in here. So without further ado, cue the intro. You know it's showtime, right? What is going on, YouTube? Now, before I begin, I'd like to make a disclaimer telling everyone that this information I'm about to provide to you was researched on internet sites, runnersworld.com and active.com, as well as my own opinion. So it's not like I woke up and all of a sudden I had a dream or something about this. Man, I just had a dream that I should do a video about planning your race calendar, and it just came all to me. I promise you, just had a dream, all in the dream. So without that, let's go right into the video and get right into the information. Now, before we begin, there's two things I do like to clarify up when we get into these goals. The first, there's two types of runners out there. There's the runners that are out there for the fitness, who go out there and just run just for the fun of it. They have other goals in mind, and running is just a cardio activity for them, just to maintain their goals or something like that. The competitive and elite runner is anyone who falls, probably most of us that fall into this category, that runs with a PR in mind. You're out there on a race trying to do your personal best. You're trying to do your best and try to achieve your best. So keep that in mind when I explain these goals. So another thing I'm going to get into before we really get into these goals is take your time with these goals. Relax. Grab a beer, grab wine, grab coffee. Now, key word, grab A. Don't sit there and chug a six-pack trying to figure out these goals. You can't be drunk trying to figure out these goals. So sit down and relax. Treat yourself to a wine, beer, coffee, tea, whatever drinking beverage of your choice. Sit down and relax, because this is going to take some time. You want to spend some time into this. This is the rest of the year you're talking about here, planning for your race, and you want to make sure that it is set. Now, all schedules and all plans ain't set in stone, but you at least want to put some thought into this. So let's get right into the action here. Now, before we plan, you need to figure out what your goal race is. For most people, maybe trying to qualify for Boston, maybe doing a triathlon, the Ironman competition, maybe doing trail running, trying to qualify, I think, for the Western States, I think it's called. Maybe you're just trying to do a marathon for the first time. Maybe you're trying to get a time to get into the Olympic trials. Maybe you're doing a Spartan race. Maybe you're doing a important mud run race that's important to you, or etc. Whatever it is, keep that in mind and what goal that you're trying to accomplish. Now, I'm going to use me as an example, and the goal I'm going to use for me, the main goal I'm trying to do is trying to qualify for Boston. So I'm going to keep that in mind while I'll use me as an example as we go through these goals and the rest of this stuff. The next thing you want to do, and remember that this is easy as ABC, and that's how we're going to break these down. A race, B race, and your C race. So when you're planning the A race, that's the race you want to go in there, you want to try to PR. That's the race you're going to try to do your best on. For me, going into trying to qualify for Boston, heading into the time around October, is going to be the Long Beach Marathon. That's going to be my goal race right there. That's the one I'm going to try to go in there and qualify for Boston for. Now, some people might say, okay, you could do the Rebel Canyon Marathon, where it's mainly downhill and stuff like that, but I won't try it at Long Beach for this example. Now, some things to consider if you are doing a long race. Like, let's say your destination is to do the Great Wall of China Marathon. Well, sitting here in the United States, that's traveling fares you're going to have to worry about. Or maybe you are doing Boston, or planning on doing Boston next year, since the time of this video, Boston's already over with. You might have to, there's other things you're going to have to think about. What about how you're going to get there? The gas. Hotel fare, are you going to get plane, are you going to take a car or something like that? Other things, to consider about in your A race. And the reason I say think about this now for your A race, because when you get down planning your B races that's going to supplement those A races, you need to keep this in mind, because money starts adding up really quick with these races, especially if you're doing a real popular race. The money adds up quick. And if you're short on money like I am and don't like spending a lot of money on these races, so your choices are kind of limited on what to do. So keep that in mind. If this is your goal race, of course, if this is your goal race, this is what you're going to PR on, you shell the money out, you go all out as you can. But keep that in mind, because it's going to limit your options when you're planning those B races and your C races to try to complement on doing well in those A races. So keep that in mind. Just one thing to think about. Another thing to think about, type of day. Is it a morning race? Is it something you're going to be doing in the mid-afternoon? Is it like a Ragnar event where it happens all, 24 hours? You can do it at any time of the day. Or are you doing Rock and Roll Las Vegas where you're running the strip and it's going to be at night? That's another thing you have to worry about too, because when you're training, you got to train for those. You want to try to simulate that training during that time as well. One more thing to worry about when you're planning your A race. For me, if planning a Long Beach marathon, it's in October. So I know most of the training I'm going to be doing for that marathon is going to be during the summertime where it's going to be hot. And here in California, technically from pretty much right now, late April to October, it pretty much is considered summertime. So no problem there. But maybe if you're not living in the southern states, or if you're like up north where winter comes or it's going to be really cold around that time, and you do have a race that's in the October, November, or December area where it's going to be freezing and stuff like that, keep in mind that if you are doing a November, December marathon, that you might be starting your training during the summertime or where it's going to be really hot or before it gets cold to that point. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're planning that, just keep it in mind.
Now, can you have more than one A race? The answer is yes. Of course you can have more than one A race. Now, if you're doing something like the marathon where maybe you're only going to plan 2 marathons, probably one to practice and the other one that you really want your PR goal. But what if you're training for a half marathon? What if you're just a half marathon type person? What if you're a 10K type person? What if you're a 5K type person? Or the people that does a lot of sprinting and distance? They're going to have way more A races that they can be able to spread out throughout the year. So of course you can have multiple A races. You're not just limited to just having one. I'm just saying that for a reason. If your money, like if you have a budget on what you spend on races, yeah, you may be limited to just doing 1 A race a year. But if you have the money and you're doing like smaller races where it takes more time, where it takes less time to recover, then by all means, yeah, you can do as much as A races as you want. So let's jump now into the B races. Now the B races are like your warm-up, your tune-up races to supplement for those A races. Now, the reason I was saying plan that out early for the A races of what you want to do, because these B races are supposed to help you out with the A race. So maybe when you're doing a marathon, that month before you might want to do a half marathon to train up for that race. Now, in the research that I was doing, it said that these B races don't really have to be in the same format as an A race. So if you're doing a trail run, like if you're doing a 50K or something like that, you can do a marathon as a training run, or maybe a half marathon as a training run. As I kind of see where they're trying to go with this. I think you kind of want to do a warm-up race, kind of similar to what you're going to do. Like I said, you're not going to do a Spartan race where you're trying to train for a marathon a month out. I mean, you kind of get where I'm getting at with the picture. So if you're going to do a marathon on the road, I would assume that doing a half marathon a month out on the road will probably make more sense. Like if you're doing a marathon where it's a lot of hills in it, doing a half marathon with a bunch of hills in it would make more, it would kind of make sense in that picture, because you're training for what you're going to be expecting for your goal race. Now, maybe if you do maybe they're trying to say an example, like if you do a flat race and then try to train for the marathon to try to preserve your legs or energy like that, then I could kind of see where they're coming from with that. But I think the most sense would be to train for that warm-up B race should be something that you're working towards an A race. It should be something at least similar to it. Yeah, you're not gonna probably get the exact specifications of what your A race is, but at least something similar to it. So keep that in mind when you're planning those B races. And could you plan for multiple B races just like the A races? Absolutely. You may want to have a 10K 6 weeks out to your, like if you're doing a marathon, maybe 6 weeks out from the marathon, and doing a half marathon, maybe a month out or 3 weeks out or whatever your training schedule plan allocates for that. But yes, you can have a couple of B races in your training schedule to lead up to the marathon. there's no really right way to train for that B race, depending on what schedule you're using or what training plan or training method you use. You know, there might be different ways you might plan that. To me, it's usually money that's usually an issue of these B races. I'm like, if I'm doing the A race, I'm making sure that I'm going to have a B race for sure, at least one B race, at least a half marathon, at least anywhere from that 4 to 6 week out mark to at least train and be ready for that. If I could do more races or another race in there to supplement for it, then hey, all for it. But if not, then at least I want to, if I'm doing an A race, at least I want to have a B race backup ready to go. And I know with the way the dates are and stuff like that, you may not be able to get one 4 to 6 weeks out, but if you can get one that really helps, that feel like it's going to help you towards that A race, then by all means go for it. And the last thing we're going to get into are the C races. Now the C races are your fun races. These are the ones where you don't have a goal in mind. You're not worried about a goal. You're just out there to have fun. Maybe it's out there doing that beer mile. Maybe you're doing a mud run. Maybe you're doing a charity run for something else. Maybe you just want to pace a friend or help them out trying to reach their goals. Something where it's not really, the race is not really significant of a value to you of how well you do. You're just out there for the fun of it. Now the last thing I want to mention before I end this video is, I know I'm going to get this question talking about, but Neil, I'm broke. I'm supposed to spend all these money for races. I don't know what to do. You telling me spend this on an A race. You telling me do a B race. Now you telling me do a C race. What do I do? What do I do? Well, calm down first of all. Calm down. Okay. I understand the frustration. I'm not sitting on money. You don't see me making it rain in this video right here or any other video in the future, because I don't have that type of money. That's why I said plan that one, sit down and take your time on that one A race and then have a B race to supplement if you can. If not, at least worry about the A race that you want to go out there and PR on. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to lower your costs. One thing you could do is when you do go online and register, most of the stuff that I've registered on races has been through active.com. I know I have an Active Advantage membership where it kind of weighs those registration fees, because those registration fees, oh my goodness, that adds up by itself right there. Think something costs this much and all of a sudden, bam, they hit you with a registration fee and boom, that price goes up more than what you expect. So at least because of my Active Advantage membership, that registration fee is taken off, which does help me out there. Another thing you could look for too is before, like if you're going on the actual racing website, that before you actually hit that submit button and pay for that race, do a quick, and this is for anything you're actually doing online shopping wise, go do a quick research. Hit that tab button on your computer screen up there. Hit that tab. Get on your Google or Bing or whatever search engine that you use and actually type up like Long Beach Marathon coupon code and see what pops up. You may find a code on there that might save you 10% off, 5% off, or whatever, just by taking a minute or two extra out your time looking for that code, and bam, there you go. You could save that way. Another thing too, if you do have your race planned out, let's say it's something that takes a little while to register, like you don't, like once the race over, it's not like the next day you can register for next year and get that early registration. You could wait, since you know what you're going to be doing, you could wait for those pre-registration races to come out, and you can get that early bird special, and bam, since you already planned your race out, you already know what to look for and what to look out for. So like, oh man, yeah, this race falls exactly my time. Let me get that in right away. But the most important thing is to save, and to save now, like throw a little $10, $20 on the paycheck off to the side and stuff like that. So when something like this does come up, you have that money on the side saved up that you can just like, bam, oh good. Instead of you happen to, waste most of your paycheck trying to hurry up and get that out the way and worry about how you're going to worry about getting through the rest of the month. So keep those tips in mind as you work through those races. But other than that, that's going to be it on this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. If the subscribe button seems not to be working now, I'll probably have it in this annotation right here if my magic works out right. And if you haven't seen my introduction video that I've done, I'll probably gonna have a intro link to that here if that works out well. So without further ado, I want to end the video on this note right here. You guys all have a great day.
Whoa. I had a dream and it wasn't supposed to turn out like that. Oh man, that shit hurt. I had a dream, man. I forgot what the heck the dream was about. It was about something though. Something happened. Something happened. No one can remember their dreams anyways. I don't even know why are we even doing this anyway. In this dream, all I had was a drop of water left going up this hill, and this hill was big. And I put one foot in front of the other, and I conquered that hill. I rode up that hill. I was trucking along up that hill, and I got to the top. And when I got to the top, I passed out because it was hot. So when I got back up, because I smelled somebody running past me who had Folgers in their cup, I went down that hill and I crossed that finish line. That's right, I crossed that finish line. And the moral of this story is, there is no moral to this story because I just made this up.